Sabres Live, presented by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close.
I can't even tell you how many awards that I've received from the Amerks, the American Hockey League, Rochester Press Radio Club, other media organizations. I'm in the Amerks Hall of Fame. There's a press box with my name on it. Who gets that?
Ladies and gentlemen, Amerks fans everywhere, the Don Stevens Press Box.
I have 7 championship rings. And in my career, I have received so much more than I deserve. But me being greedy, I'd like to see one more ring, please.
The Rochester Americans, the Calder Cup champions!
I sure hope, we sure hope, Don Stevens, that you get one more ring in what will now be your final season with the Amerks in your legendary career, your 40th season, the Amerks 70th season. If you haven't seen it yet, folks, just a beautiful 8-minute video recapping Don's career as he enters his final season this year. How are you, our friend?
Emotional.
Yeah.
Up and down. It's just a mixed bag of tricks today, I'll tell you that. But the response that I'm receiving is just, it's just mind-boggling. I haven't done anything. I've just enjoyed watching Rochester Americans hockey for all these years, and to receive all of this is just incredible.
In the montage, Don, there's a picture of you at a music console in a studio. So when did it all start? I mean, it's 40 years with the Amerks, but you said 58 years, I believe, a career. Like, where and when and how did it all start for you?
Yeah, that was at a small station in Grand Island, Nebraska, where I did everything. And what that picture was about a half hour before I did my first ever radio show, which was a 6-hour DJ show that night. So that was my very first day, and it was it'll be coming up on 58 years ago. Yeah. So, but that's where it began. I did everything at the radio station. I was sports director, assistant news director, DJ. I cleaned the trash. I was an engineer, and all of it. So I had actually a great beginning to my career because I learned everything that you need to know about broadcasting.
It's actually my favorite part, I think, still of this business is the way it used to be and how you got started. And, Don, many of us followed similar paths, and it's very hard to explain to people how much you learn when you really don't know much when you get into it. And when you have the heart to stay with it, like you have, you now have this incredible, almost 6 decades long experience to look back on. Dare I even ask what the highlight could possibly be?
Let me talk first about the first part you said. I did go to a broadcasting school for 10 months before my first job, and I'll never forget the instructor on the first day said, "You're going to learn more on the first day on the job than we'll teach you in a year here." And how true that was. You just never know what's going to happen until you actually flip that on switch on the mic. But as far as I've over the years, I don't know if you're talking about Rochester Americans, and that would be my first season, which was incredible. But then I think back before that with things like, I don't know, World Team Tennis and traveling for a year with Rod Laver. It was just incredible. And that's just a small example of some of the things I've experienced over the years. But my first year in Rochester, everything went just right. It was, I'll tell you a funny story. So when I was in Salt Lake in the International League and I had agreed to come here to Rochester, I was talking to some people about the moving to the Amerks and the American Hockey League, and they said, "Oh, you don't want to go there. It's just a goon league, and they're all a bunch of hatchets. They're just going to chopping each other." And I'm going, "No, I've heard good things about the American League." So you never guess what happened in my first game. We were against the Binghamton Whalers, I think it was back then, and Shane Churla ended up going up on the stage after our fans. I'm thinking, what have I gotten myself into? So anyway, that was the beginning. But later on in the year, we won the regular season championship on the final night of the season, a shootout in Binghamton, by the way, and Jack Brownscheitel with the winning shot and Darren Pupa with the the goaltending performance. And so we went into the playoffs, ended up winning it in Sherbrooke in Game 7. The fan, when we came back at the airport at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was really cold out, the airport was just slammed with people. Couldn't even hardly get out of the airport, and the parade and the post-win party here at the War Memorial was just packed with people. It was just unbelievable. It was a dream.
Well, a dream was also like seeing some of the videos that they put on with your message. When Jody Gage had the, what is it, 564 points, I believe. Like I think it was around there. But so you got to broadcast a lot of players, and then a lot of them became your friends and your coworker and people in your immediate surroundings. So what is that like, making the transition from calling games of certain players and then either having to work with or just be friends with them later in life?
Well, Marty, you're a perfect example. You know what?
I'm a young example. A young example.
Allegedly.
Okay. Keep kidding yourself. You know what? I remember more about the guys off the ice than I do on the ice. I don't really remember a whole lot about necessarily how anybody played, but the guys off the ice have, and I've been so well treated by everybody, and yeah, made a lot of great friends, and it's just. Like I say, I don't know how many more words I have to describe how grateful I am.
What are you looking forward to most now about this year?
A strong season, a real strong, happy season, and great entertainment, which it will be. I'm sure it will be. You just kind of never sure what you're going to see until you. Like, we've got to sit here and wait for Buffalo to send the players here. What players are we getting? Who are we going to have, and so forth. So it's kind of a waiting game. It's a little bit different than you guys there, where you kind of have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be seeing. So that's a fun part of it too, not knowing exactly what you're going to get. But I just want it to be a strong season. I want the fans to have a great time and remember this year is one of the better years ever.
70 years of Amerks hockey, one of the best and oldest franchise in the AHL, along with the Hershey Bears. And, you know, we feel that history. You've been part of it for 40 years, so more than half of the Amerks, 70 years, but 70 years of Amerks hockey. What does that resemble? Like, what's this year going to be like celebrating 70 years?
I guess I'll have to wait till the end of the year to see about what it's going to be like. Like I say, I just
with an 8th trophy, with an 8th ring for you. That's what it's like.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be outstanding. I would love it. But I think more than that, it's been a while for the city. And I remember when I first came here, my first 14 years in Rochester, we were in the finals. The final championship round 8 times. And so now it doesn't happen very often. But of course, a little bit different. There's a whole lot more teams than what there was back then. But how this league has grown and has become such a huge part of the National Hockey League, I think. How many players, most of the players you see in the NHL came through the American Hockey League. So it's an impressive thing to see.
It is underappreciated, I think, the growth of the league and how in step it is with every NHL team. Don, you talked about being in Salt Lake and the number of leagues. There are still a lot of minor pro leagues per se, but the AHL and NHL relationship has never been stronger. I mean, you think about all those years where it was the AHL and the IHL and prospects here and there, but not in one setting. Like the fact that you've never shied away from this, just talking about how meaningful it was for you when the Sabres and Amerks got back together.
Oh, it was huge. I don't know that I would have lasted this long if that hadn't happened, because we went through some dismal times between the time the Sabres first owned the team to the second time around. And thank goodness for the Pagulas to come along and save us, really, and put such a great product back in the building. Yeah, it's what a glorious marriage. I never worked out very well in my own marriages, but this one has been a good one.
Oh, well, I can't wait. And I'm going to tell you, if you got some hockey fans around Buffalo, anywhere, get yourself a, Flow Hockey AHL TV subscription so you can hear your call. I know there's a lot of Amerks fans that go into the building, but they don't hear your call when they're at the building. So get the subscription so we can hear your call. I have it and I listen to it. Obviously, Duffer sometimes listens to your call louder during the games. He likes to multitask, so he's got it on all the time.
I can tell by the number of monitors behind him there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you know, Don, how I never miss a game. So
yeah, okay. You know what? I do want to say something to you guys. I want to thank you for making me feel like a total idiot year after year, day after day. And the reason I say that is that if I want to see who scored a goal in the last game, I got to go look it up. I just don't remember. But you guys sit there and you talk about somebody who scored a goal in the second period in 1992. And the thing is, both of you know who did it and who assisted it all. I feel like such an idiot watching you guys. You're so talented.
It's this guy over here. I'm pointing like he's good.
Every time I open my mouth, I learn, Marty, that you know way more than I do. And it's a gift to be able to work with someone like that. And Don, it has been an absolute treat for all of us, and we can't wait to hear this final season with you.
Well, I used to say, I can't wait for this. I can't wait for that. Like, I can't wait for the season to begin. I can't wait for the season to end. I can't wait for Christmas and all that. And now I'm sitting here and going, wait a minute, slow down.
Yeah.
Let's not hurry into these things. So what seemed like was going to be an eternity before it came to this day has just, in the blink of an eye, all of a sudden it's here. It's just, it's hard to believe that I'm to this point already.
Thank you again for everything heartfelt that you shared in that video that was posted by the Amerks today. You can find it on Amerks Social and, of course, Amerks.com. Don, we got to hit the break. Can't wait to hear all of your calls this year, and see you in Rochester very soon.
Looking forward to seeing you guys. I really enjoy it. I watch you every day, so thank you so much.
There he is, Don Stevens, Amerks Hall of Famer. 40th season upcoming for Don. It will be his last calling Amerks games. We're back after this on Sabres Live.